When you start speaking to Italians, there are a few mistakes that you might make. I know because I've made all of them, and fixing them will help you feel more confident and avoid moments like this.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
We'll focus on a few words and phrases that learners often get wrong in everyday conversations and help you say them correctly. That includes 2 common mistakes that people don't usually tell you about, and it's good to know about them so that you don't keep making them without realizing. Errore numero 1, the first mistake, saying buongiorno instead of buongiorno when you meet people. This is the first word that you'll say to Italians, so it's really important to get the pronunciation right. In Italian, vowels are really important. Italians really enunciate them. And that means it's important to clearly pronounce the U. So it's not bon, but it's buon, buon, buon. It actually ends up sounding like a buo, buon, buongiorno. And here's a quick tip to help you sound instantly more Italian. Enunciate your vowels really clearly. That helps you get that musical quality. Essentially, when you speak Italian, you need to be moving your mouth a lot. So, for example, to say the word suitcase, Italians don't say valigia.
Instead, they say valigia, valigia.
They really pronounce carefully every vowel. And as a little bonus, in Italian to say please, it's per favore with an e. So not por favore, but per. Per
favore, per favore.
Second mistake, mixing up the words caldo and freddo. So it's very easy to get hot and cold mixed up in Italian because caldo, which means hot, sounds like cold, but it's the opposite. Caldo means hot and freddo means cold. And to help you remember, you can just think that the word caldo is actually linked to some words related to heat in English that have Latin roots. For example, caldo sounds like cauldron and scalding. Freddo, on the other hand, meaning cold, sounds like freezing. Speaking of caldo, hot, and freddo, cold, remember that Italians don't say I am hot or I am cold. They say I have hot, ho caldo, and I have cold, ho freddo. Third common mistake, the pronunciation of di solito, which means usually.
Solito? Di solito. Di solito. Di solito.
Ah, di solito. Di solito.
Sì. That's what I said.
Not really?
A lot of learners pronounce di solito, which means usually, as di solito, but it's actually di solito.
Di solito. Di solito.
It's really important to listen to Italian words as much as you can and focus on the pronunciation. This will help you avoid moments where you feel like you're close enough, but Italians struggle to catch what you're saying. And when you get it right, Italians are more likely to reply to you in Italian, which gives you more chance to practice. You can use resources like wordreference.com to listen to words that you're unsure about. Just click the speaker icon to hear them. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning Italian, and it's actually a good thing because it shows that you're trying and you're learning. But when you're learning on your own, it's actually quite hard to know what's going wrong or what to fix to speak more clearly with Italians. And you might also find yourself picking up bad habits that stay with you even as you improve. I created our beginners courses with this in mind. As someone who has learned Italian, I can help you avoid common pitfalls and focus on what really matters for everyday conversations. You'll also get speaking practice with friendly teachers who'll give you guidance and feedback to help you get things right. To learn more, click the link in the description. Common mistake number 4, saying things like io parlo italiano instead of parlo italiano.
Ciao, io sono Katie. Io parlo italiano.
io vivo in Italia. Ciao, sono Katie. Parlo italiano, vivo in Italia. In Italian, we don't need those little words like I, io, you, tu, etc. because the verb ending already tells us who is doing the action. For example, I speak is parlo with an o at the end. Then you speak is parli with an I pronounced as e at the end. Italians only really use those little words like io and tu when they're making a contrast. For example, between io and tu. It's a bit like how in English we might use our tone of voice. For example, I'll do this and you'll do that.
Caffè?
Sì, io ordino e tu paghi.
Ok.
If you use them when you're just talking normally, people will definitely understand you and it's not officially a mistake, but it sounds really, really unnatural. So it's not io parlo italiano, but rather parlo italiano.
Parlo italiano. Parlo italiano.
Common mistake number 5, saying things like vado in Milano. It's actually vado a Milano. So these little prepositions like in and a can be really annoying because they follow different rules in different languages. But in Italian, we always use a when talking about a city. For example,
Siamo a Monza. Vivo a Milano.
and then we use in when we're talking about a country.
Siamo in Italia. Vivo in Italia.
If you get these wrong, people will still understand you, so there's no need to stress about them, but it helps to pay attention to these little details. I'd suggest learning the ones that you think you might say the most often as a little chunk. So for example, if you live in Chicago, you can learn the phrase vivo a Chicago. And just as a little aside, Italians say the CHI in Chicago as Chicago, which is quite fun. And if you're going to Italy, you can also just learn vado in Italia. So again, a Chicago for the city and in Italia for the country. And you'll find a lot of things like this in Italian that are just different without any real explanation why. So if you're able to learn these details without stressing a lot about why, you'll learn much, much faster. And what about you? Are there any other beginner mistakes that you've heard about or that you sometimes make in Italian? And do you have any tips to help other people get those words or phrases right? Please share them so that you can help other learners in the comments. Grazie e a presto. Ciao. Okay, quello come...
Ok, valigia.
If I read this, I'd be like, valigia.
Valigia.
Valigia. E tu paghi.
Ok. La vuoi rifare?
Aspetta, quello è...
rimasto male davvero.
Sì. Va bene.